Hi there, welcome to Nepi Invest. To fulfill my mission on creating a video on every single ASX company that releases a positive operational cash flow June quarter, I am going to have to do videos on companies I know very little or nothing about. That was true for a video I did the other day on Reef Casino Trust, and it was also true for the focus of today's video. Now, when I started my research on this company, nothing really drew me into what they do. It wasn't until I looked at the chart, particularly what happened just after the COVID-19 financial panic. We saw the very definition of FOMO and greed take a hold of a lot of investors, and it's in fact one of the most interesting and fascinating charts you'll see on the ASX simply because of what happened in April 2020. So stick around for the chart portion of this video. However, the company we're looking at today is Jupiter Energy. We'll be focusing on their Appendix 5B. So mining companies release Appendix 5B, which is the quarterly cash flow report. Non-mining companies release Appendix 4C. It's almost virtually the same thing. Jupiter Energy is an oil explorer and producer. That's the most important thing when it comes to Jupiter Energy. They are a producer. They're based in Kazakhstan. They've been on the ASX for about 12 years. I think they were founded in 2008 and listed soon after that. This is not a company I've heard about before until they released this quarterly cash flow report, and that's when I first took notice of Jupiter Energy. The ticker code for Jupiter Energy is JPR. And when you look at the market cap in isolation, 5.7 million, you might think there is some attractive value here, particularly when this company is operational cash flow positive. Revenue for the trailing 12 months, 2.7 million, and they were not operational cash flow positive for that 12-month period. In fact, they were negative by 2.2 million. It's not until we get to that bottom line where we look at the debt. $66 million of debt in this business. So the value of this company isn't the market cap of 5.7 million. That's actually undervaluing this company. It's actually over 70 million. So when you add the debt to the market cap, that's when you get the enterprise value. And that's a truer indication of how the market is valuing a company. You also got to take cash on hand into consideration as well, but cash on hand is dwarfed by the debt. So we really have to take notice of the debt in this company. I do think there's probably some investors out there who are looking at that markup and thinking this is a cheap company. And the reason they think it's a cheap company is because they are ignoring debt. Before we get into the focus of this video, and that's the June quarter results for Jupiter Energy, just want to go back in time to see if they've had similar results in the past. And when we look at the March quarter, we can notice that the receipts from customers were 1.1 million and they were operational cash flow positive by $409,000. So it seems like maybe this company is turning things around, because if you remember the trailing 12 months, they were operational cash flow negative. Now, Jupiter Energy is an exploring company. They're also a producing company, but they are doing some exploration. And just like any other mining exploration company, they are spending money on exploration. And that's no different for this company. In fact, for the quarter, they spent $574,000 on exploration. And because the amount of money they spent on exploration was more than the money they produced in their operations, the cash on hand fell in Jupiter Energy during the March quarter from $391,000 to $352,000. How did Jupiter Energy perform in the June quarter? It looks like things actually improved a little bit more. Receipts from customers for the quarter, 1.4 million, and they were operational cash flow positive a little bit more to 758,000. They only spent $707,000 on exploration, so that's actually less than the cash they produced in operations. And that meant the cash on hand in the business grew during the quarter. And that's exactly what you want to see for this sort of company. I highly recommend going through Jupiter Energy's activities report, because their Appendix 5B, which is a separate report from their activity report, is just the numbers. You do also want to have a look at some of the commentary behind their results. And in one section of the activities report, they do mention the difference between revenue and receipts. There is a difference. So some people don't understand that revenue and cash receipts are a little bit different. And they actually mentioned that the revenue they received during the quarter, the June quarter, was only $1.2 million, which is a little bit lower than the cash receipts they received of $1.4 million. So why is there a difference between the revenue and the cash receipts? And they actually talk about why there is a difference here. It's all due to the timing of the receipt of oil prepayments that are then amortized over several months of oil deliveries. So revenue is a little bit less than the cash receipts just because of the timing of the receipts they receive from their customers. Jupiter Energy has been listed on the ASX for a while. I just wanted to go back in time to see if there is any financial history when it comes to this company. So this graph is looking at revenue and cash flows from operation. If we go back to 2018-19, this company actually was producing revenue. So these are half-yearly increments. And in fact, going back there, we can see that the company was producing almost $5 million in revenue, and they were also operational cash flow positive by over $2 million or $3 million, in fact, for one half. So things have gone backwards in the past 18 months. And if I was interested in maybe taking a position in this company, I'll try to find out why revenue has gone backwards during that time period. But in my opinion, the most important thing about this company is the debt they do have on hand at this present time. If I was thinking about taking a position in this company, I want to figure out what the plans management have to deal with the debt. So $66.5 million of debt, and in their activity report, they do have a big section on the debt, also the capital structure as well. Refinance convertible notes, $36.75 million, and that convertible note are due by the 1st of July 2022, so less than 1 year from today. So what are the plans to deal with this debt? Do they think operations will expand and the cash flow from operations will handle that debt over the next year? Or are they thinking of getting into a joint venture with another company, and that company can deal with this debt? So I do think the management's plans in regards to this debt is one of the most important questions potential shareholders have when it comes to this company. Now to one of the most interesting charts you'll see on the ASX, and this is a perfect example of FOMO and greed, also price. Was it pumps and dumps? I was going to say price and dumps, but pumps and dumps. So let's go back to March, early April 2020. Share price of Jupiter Energy was down as low as 0.2 cents. So the lowest a share price can get on the ASX is 0.1 cents, and Jupiter was at 0.2 cents. And that was on the 21st of April. Then for some reason, and no one knows why, not even the company, no one on the ASX, there might be a few people out there that do know why, a lot of interest in this company unwound during the 22nd of April. Share price opened on that day at 0.5 cents. So previous day it closed at 0.2 cents. So already the share price had increased over 100% just on open. And during the day, a lot of volume came in on the trading of Jupiter Energy, and the share price rose from that open of 0.5 cents to a close of 5.5 cents. That's a share price increase of 2,650% on the close the previous day. Because the share price rose by that amount on significant volume, there were a lot of day traders who saw that, became interested because they are fascinated and love volatility. Probably a lot of investors also who get caught in FOMO will also notice this increase in share price in Jupiter Energy. And together, those day traders and those FOMO investors drove the share price of Jupiter Energy the next day on the 23rd of April to a high of 34.5 cents. Now, just imagine you're a shareholder of Jupiter Energy. You had bought into this company a few years ago. The share price was at 0.2 cents on the 21st of April, and then 2 days later, it was up to 34.5 cents. That's a significant increase in the share price. And if you were a shareholder at that point in time and you saw the share price get into the 30-cent range, you were going to take profits. And when people start taking profits en masse, that will drive the share price down. And that's what happened with Jupiter Energy. The share price actually closed only at 15 cents. And then Jupiter Energy went into a trading halt because they had to try to explain what happened on the 22nd and 23rd of April to drive this interest in this company. And it took them a couple of weeks to release their response to this irregular trading activity. You can read that on the 6th of May. The announcement called response to irregular trading activity. They were trying to explain what caused this interest in the company. So have a good read of that. I do highly recommend. And then when trading opened in Jupiter Energy on the 6th of May, when they came out of the trading halt, this is what happened to the share price in the next 4 trading days. Share price fell 65% on the 6th of May, 26% on the 7th of May, 15% on the 8th of May, and then a further 26% on the 12th of May. There was one day there where the share price didn't drop on the 9th or 11th of May. And on the 12th of May, the share price closed at 2.9 cents. Now let's move forward to September the 15th, same year. On that day, the share price rose 520%. Now this occasion was a little bit different than April. In April, there was no news flow from the company. However, on the 15th of September, the company did release an operations update. Then they went into a trading halt for one day, and they had to clarify the operations update. And when they came out of this trading update, the share price fell 52% on the 17th of September, and then a further 27% on the 18th of September. So obviously, this clarification was not liked by the market. And we actually have seen on the 23rd of October, share price rose 57% on that day. However, the share price got to a high of 10 cents and closed at 5.5 cents. And this was, I think, an instance where the market knew when the share price of this company rises, sell out as soon as possible, because they've had 2 occasions of pumps and dumps in the past. And when there is a possibility of a pump and dump, you want to sell out of your shares as soon as possible. And that's what happened on the 23rd of October. When the company released their Appendix 5B on the 16th of July, share price rose 46% on that day. But the share price got to a high of 7.2 cents and then closed at 5.4 cents and has been dropping since then as well over the next 2 trading days. So a really interesting trading pattern over the past 18 months with Jupiter Energy. Just the amount of FOMO in April last year and classic examples of pumps and dumps with this company. My plan over the next few days is to continue this mission and do videos on Millennium Services Group and Westar Industrial. Both of these companies have released an operational cash flow positive quarter. The other company I have here, Legend Mining Limited, is a little bit different. They did release a quarterly cash flow report that was, or did show the company was operational cash flow positive. However, they have no operations creating cash. The reason they were operational cash flow positive was because they borrowed or lent some money to another company a few years ago, and that company is paying them back. And Legend Mining, for some reason, decided to put the amount of money they received back from this other company into their operations section of the quarterly cash flow report. I personally believe that should have gone into their financing activities section of their quarterly cash flow report. So I might have a quick look at Legend Mining just to see what they did and why I slightly disagree with what they did. And that is all I have for this Appendix 5B June quarter video for Jupiter Energy. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you do have any questions about this company, particularly their chart, if you, like me, and found the chart absolutely amazing, interesting, fascinating, leave a comment or any sort of question in the comment section, and I'll answer anything you have to say in the next few weeks. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.